That part of it. That's what mechanics and tradespeople are scared of. And you can get all mad and triggered that I'm saying that and be honest, but we all know it's true. I guess I would say in the car world, mechanic world, we should stop giving a crap what morons think. Oh, what's up, people? Today is going to be an intelligent rant because I recently took the Porsche Fuchs wheels, F-U-C-H, to a tire shop to get new tires put on it, some Yokohamas I ordered off the internet that I thought would be good. But I also took the turbo diesel dually truck in because it had some slow leaks in the tires. And I had an experience that even surprised and shocked me just at like, how stupid can you be, and how has our world become this pathetic that even a privately owned service shop that does nothing with tires can be this pathetic? Now, I know this is beating up on them, but honestly, and let's not, I don't want to actually beat up on the business. So maybe if they see this and get it, I appreciate all the great things they've done in the past, but damn, guys, damn, how stupid can you be? So let's go into it. So generally speaking, with tire places to get tires put on cars, you know, they do have liability associated with it. You have to have people that can mount and balance tires properly. I remember way back when I had a DeLorean that was my everyday car, and it doesn't really matter the car make, okay? That's what I was driving at the time. And I took it in to get new tires. And I think it had 14-inch wheels in the front, 15 in the rear, which is a goofy tire size, but it's the 80s. So anyway, so I got some tires at this big chain store type thing in the Columbus area that would put, I mean, obviously they were a tire company. I think they had batteries too. And I probably just let out the cat out of the bag what it was. Anyway, so I got new tires put on, all's well, and I'm driving it. And like 2 days later, the sidewall on one of the front tires bubbled. And I looked at that. Now, clearly, I take care of my cars well, and I don't drive them badly. I didn't hit a curb. There was no action. There were no debris from where I was driving. It clearly was either a defective tire or somebody put it on badly. And I looked at it carefully, and you could see at the rim how it was chewed up a little bit. So I'm figuring whoever it is that mounted this did a crap job and screwed up the tire and made it bubble. So I took the car and I'm like, hey man, we need to see what's going on. There's new tires and now the sidewall's bubbling here. And it looks like it was chewed by a rat. So what's up? So they take it in the back, they do the thing, and the guy comes out and he goes, well, it's naturally damage caused by hitting a curb or something like that. So we're gonna have to charge you. And I'm like, hold on the phone there, Tex. First of all, I didn't hit any curb. I didn't hit anything. There was no debris, and I take care of this car and know how to drive. If you look at this and the sidewall and the lip of this tire, clearly you had some idiot who was either about to quit, didn't care, or somebody that wasn't qualified to put this tire on, just decimate it. Just decimate the edge of this tire, and that's why it's inflating. That's on you, you're replacing it. And they tried to push back, but it was such garbage because that is one of the reasons I hate shops, and especially when they get bigger chain stores because they have such a high volume, they don't care if they screw over a person or two. And most especially dealers, as you guys have heard me rant on in the past. So I had to push back, and the only reason that I didn't get charged as a consumer for this tire store's mistake mounting it and screwing it up, or worse yet, have it blow out or something like that, which probably wasn't that likely, but still, is because I knew enough that they screwed it up firsthand, having seen this before, been in the world, and I could stick to my guns and not take their crap. And that's something that makes me sad for the general populace because people generally get screwed over by dealerships especially, and often chain stores that charge you an arm and a leg. And I've become accustomed to not experiencing that anymore because obviously I can work on my own cars. I mean, there's my toolbox and there's all my projects behind me, you know. But I still have to utilize some places from time to time. Maybe it's a street everyday car of my wife's or something, and once in a blue moon there's a job I just don't want to screw with because it's no fun like a race car. And I don't have any tire changing machines. I don't have any big machine tools. So if it comes down to engine building or changing tires or doing really good job with paint, because you can only paint outside so well, you know, stuff like that, I got to do third party. But every once in a while something happens that surprises me. So I'm getting to the point, people that like to break down in the comments. So I took the tires in with the Fuchs wheels in the back of the truck, and I drove my truck in with a leaking rear tire on the dually. Now, they did a perfectly good job on the Fuchs wheels for the Porsche, but I shouldn't say that because they were supposed to put lead tape on the outside lip and on the inside lip, which is an extra process. You have to put on potentially 2 pieces of tape instead of 1. And most idiots are like, I don't want tape where I can see it. So they just put one big one in the middle, and you can tune the machine to do that. I told them to do the best balancing inside and outside, so they'd be mint. Of course, they didn't do that. They just put 1 tape on it. But otherwise, the tires are on there pretty good, and they don't leak. So I guess they screwed that up, but they didn't screw it up so badly that I'm going to cry. It'll be fine. It's a 944. It's not like a frickin' rocket ship. Anyway, so the truck had a slow leak. And they call me that day, and it goes, well, slow leaking out the valve stem, out the seal. And I'm like, all right, so, you know, put a new seal in it or tighten it down or something. It's like, well, I don't know if we can do that. There's a little bit of corrosion on this. You might have to get a new wheel. And I'm thinking, are you drunk and stupid? I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting a new wheel. Take a peek at it. So then he calls me back 2 times. It's like, well, it's still leaking. I'm like, don't you, I mean, you guys are a tire store. That's all you do. You do farm equipment, you do semi-trailers, you do cars, everything. You don't have one mechanic in there that has a little bit of goo for their job, of which consists of taking tires on and off, making valve stems go on and off properly, and making them hold air. That's it. That's what their job is. And sometimes, and this is the bulk of their job, and sometimes, whoo, hold on now, you might have to jack up said vehicle and take that wheel and tire off yourself. Woo! I know, it's getting real difficult. Anyway, so that's all they got to do, right? So it turns out, and I didn't want to screw with the truck because it's big, and just figure out, just plug it. It's not going to cost that much money. I got other stuff I got to worry about, right? So they call me up. It's leaking at the valve stem, not the core, like inside the little stem. You know, that's easy to place. You just screw it out and put a new one in. Big deal, okay? But it's leaking where the actual valve stem goes through the wheel. And he was saying there was some corrosion, and they said it was out of round. Now, first of all, it's an alloy wheel on a truck that gets driven only on the street and not beat up. It's not out of round, Buster. And if it is out of round, that is a tolerance relating to a factory that has worked for all the years this truck has existed. It's fine. Also, corrosion. If there is a microscopic amount of corrosion on this very nice aluminum wheel, which by the way is perfectly shiny and not off-roaded, you know, there's this thing called clean it up. Use a little bit of sandpaper on it, you know, maybe scrape it with your knife just a bit, and then put a new seal on it and stick it on. Woo! Doggy. Now, I'm not going to be a total jerk to the guy I'm talking to. I'm like, well, I understand, man, but it's there. You're the one that can take the tire off, and you can see that it has a very, very, very slow leak out there. Don't you have, like, can't you put a new gasket? No, you're going to have to get a new wheel and a new stem. A new wheel and a new stem. How insane is that statement? We're going to come back to that in a minute. I'm going to talk about how insane that statement is. So, long story short, I'm like, no, hold on. Talk to your guy. I'm going to have to talk to the owner. I don't know. We're going to have to give it back to the way you got it. I'm afraid if we put a sealer on it, it's just, no, you're going to have to get a new wheel. That is the argument they gave me, okay? It blows me away that if your job consists of primarily changing tires, you can't seal that valve stem easily. And I'm just like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And so they go back and they won't fix it. They're giving it back to me leaking. And they're like, well, it's a liability. If we fix it and then it leaks, then it could be a problem. And I'm like, hold on. I didn't say this, but actually I did say this, but I said it nicely. I said, you're telling me you are okay with giving me back a tire and a wheel that is actively leaking right now, but you're not okay with fixing it because it might do it again. Yes. Okay. So what you're telling me is you're too afraid to do the simplest possible job that you have because it might not work. And your argument is that I need to get a brand new wheel and new stem for you to put on. Okay, so what they're actually saying is they're too afraid to do any actual work or think and do it. I'm going to go with they just didn't want to screw with it. Okay, which is asininely stupid to me. So I picked up the truck and the wheel and I went on this beautiful rant. And one of the guys that was here, one of the students that was laughing his face off because he gets it. So I get the truck back. And I look at the valve stem, I spray some Windex on it to see where it like bubbles up. I'm like, all right, it's leaking a little bit of the valve stem, big deal. So while it's on the truck and inflated with air, all I did was loosen the nut that holds it on. I look at it, and I didn't take it all the way off in case I like bonked it. It goes in the tire or something stupid like that. So it can't do that. And this is what I suggested the tire. I'm like, can't you guys just put some RTV silicone on it or something? You guys don't have any special glue. Nothing at all. Not a new gasket to put on it. Nope, can't do it. You're going to have to get new stuff. So that's all I did. I loosened it a little bit. I took a dab of RTV silicone glue and I smushed it down into the hole in the crack right there. And by the way, it wasn't corroded, okay? And I did that, and then I ain't no math magician or rocket surgeon, but I slightly tightened up the nut on the silicone, and the silicone went down in the hole, and it stopped the air bubbles from coming on out, and it worked. I'm like, my God, what has happened to the world? And like psychology, you know, and the fact of the matter is, if the guys just didn't want to screw with it on that day because they had too much going on, can you just be like, honestly, man, we just don't have time to F with it. Can you just do it yourself? We get it, yeah. But we're not going to pick up this charade so you think we're idiots. That would have been an acceptable answer. I'd have been like, okay. But no, they had to go through this insane charade, which is either complete bullcrap, which I really think it is, or they're insane. Like, hold on. So I think, and then I go to pick it up, and then they've got a guy designated to test drive the truck around the block a mile, so then they can retorque the wheels, and then do it again so they can retorque the wheels, which actually is really nice, and I appreciate that. But the thing that blows me away from a business standpoint is, you guys screwed with this enough to take it out, and I don't know if they dismounted the tire or not, but put it in there, put it up in the air, fix that, take it apart, look at it, and then put it back together, have it still leak, so you put it back together badly to start with, and then call me up 3 times, tell me you can't fix it because you're crappy mechanics and you're afraid to do anything. You basically just want me to go get a brand new truck because you're afraid to do anything. I don't know if it's because you don't have any talent or you don't have any ball. I don't know what it is, but the fact, it just blows me away. And then you're going to pay a guy to drive around the truck and then another guy to come out from another job to torque the wheels. And they still charge me a little bit per these wheels. Like, I don't know, it was like 15 bucks. They are literally losing money for this freaking charade that if they would have just taken some kind of sealer, just the tiniest bit, and put it on the O-ring or a new O-ring, it would have been done. It would have been done. And they had the nerve to tell me I need to buy a brand new wheel. I don't know what a new wheel costs from Ford or your stupid thing. I don't have time to go schlepping around to give it to you guys who are too, like, what's the word? Starts with an not inconsiderate. Incompetent. Yes. I don't even know how to say that word. I can't afford to be incompetent. How can you be that incompetent? Oh my God. So I fixed it. I just drove it back. I opened up the thing. I unscrewed a nut. I put some silicone sealer on it. I tightened it up, sprayed it with Windex. I'm like, ooh, well, there's still a microscopic bubble slowly coming out. So I gave it another 1/6 of a turn. Dang, whoo, holding air. Oh my dear Lord. That was the most difficult thing that's ever existed. Which begs me to ask the question, how are you people in business? How do you all have jobs? I really want to know, because life is hard for so many talented and caring and worthwhile, honest, hardworking individuals out there with good work ethics and core values. And you morons who do nothing but change tires can't stop a slow leak on a valve stem when the guy, me, is totally cool with it, said just put some glue on it. Because I would rather you fix it and maybe someday it leak a little rather than you just give it back to me leaking. How much do you suck? Woo! Now, I'm going to bring it home for an intelligent point after that rant. God. The problem with that is, it's a balance between the nature of being a tradesman, craftsman, mechanic, anybody who fixes things and services things in our Western civilization, most especially the United States right now. And the difficulty and the danger for these people is they're fixing things. And we live in a highly litigious society that takes advantage of situations. But we also have the nature of the modern victim culture. I'm a victim. They did it wrong. I'm going to get a lawyer. I want millions of dollars because I got a paper cut. It boggles my mind because I think what actually was the, shall we say, the initiative or motivation or fear behind the shop for not just fixing it at the time when they could is being terrified of the nature of our world right now. And even though it's me who will talk straight and be cool, and I'm from the racing world where everything goes wrong all the time, and I'm totally understanding if you do a good job and it just doesn't work because of the nature of the world, they won't even do a simple fix for me. That is a major, major problem. And the reason why I have I just have no patience for the victim culture. And what I mean to say is victim culture, not the beauty of our modern society where it's harder for people to be taken advantage of where they shouldn't, but I'm saying when that power goes too far and people try to utilize being a victim, oh, save me, let's sue everybody and ruin the world and everybody's lives because I am an emotionally needy person that never succeeded and I don't want other people to. That part of it. That's what mechanics and tradespeople are scared of. And you can get all mad and triggered that I'm saying that and be honest, but we all know it's true. And it's just disappointing. And I know it's just a valve stem, but the fact that such a big point is being made now by me relating to that and the nature of what it is for these mechanic people and tire companies and such tells me there is something hugely wrong with, frankly, our society right now. It just is. That is a small symptom of a much greater problem. So all I can really say right now is we're a little bit stuck with it, but I think it is time for everybody to start taking responsibility for themselves and their own actions and realizing that just because you are stupid does not mean it's somebody else's job to take care of you or educate you. I.e., in the case of if you're too stupid to take care of your car and understand that a craftsman, tradesman, or mechanic is doing a great job to fix it, then it's not your right to ruin somebody else's life that's trying to help you because you're too dumb to know what's going on. And it's sad because there's places like dealerships and stuff that will screw you over that frankly should be crushed. And the problem is people, the so-called victims that scare normal tradesmen and mechanics, they can camouflage themselves in the nature of the way our society is by being, I'm a victim. No, you're an idiot in that circumstance. And it's disappointing because it is literally stopping progress. It stops a mechanic or craftsman from being able to do the job that they know they can. It stops me from being able to get a stupid valve stem fixed easily. And now I have a mechanic place suggesting I should go out and spend hundreds, if not over $1,000 and days of my life schlepping around a tire because they're too afraid to fix a valve stem because of morons. So I guess I would say in the car world, mechanic world, we should stop giving a crap what morons think. Shut up and go away. Ooh, this is a good rant. Yes, it's going to make people mad and triggered because it's honest and true. So anyway, tire companies, don't do that song and dance. Just seal the damn O-ring, fix it, pat it on the button, get rid of it. It wasn't a rusty piece of junk, okay? And then we won't get into this mess because I and you all have something we need to do with our lives, and we need tires to be okay to fix that and go on with that. And if you're so afraid of people and the tires, I think you're in the wrong business, and you should find another one to be involved with. And if you're a crappy person that is trying to take advantage of hardworking, decent, and honest people because you're a loser and have done nothing with your own life and want to pretend to be a keyboard warrior on the internet, on behalf of all tradesmen, skilled mechanics, and people that put themselves out there to make the world a better place, GFY. See you guys next time.